I solved your problem.
So, I thought they're extinct. I believe you. You made them extinct again? If it is safe, the miners...
I bet their first task will be...
A dragon killer? Let us discuss your... Since you did so much more, I am offering a 50-50 share in the mine. You will make us both rich if you can keep your countrymen safe.
Seems like the miners could use protection.
So, to our first order, I will hire new hands. Glenn, I need you to convince the...
I'll see.
Aveline's gonna be my best friend. Hooray. Yeah, but you can use the extra threat generation, so... She doesn't really use fire, so...
I guess, okay. Why did I go in here then? Oh, because I wanted to sell and buy stuff, probably, was the idea.
How much longer do I have to wait?
Not much room in the barracks, but there's nowhere I'd rather be. I think I found something of yours. I didn't expect to see this again. Thank you. Truly.
Hooray.
Yay, us. We done did a good thing. Look at that.
Getting in. I've been waiting all day.
And a run at Tishan, stranger.
Oh, but it's got decisions.
Dalish crafting is second to none, I assure you.
Okay, that's not open yet. Let's see about this other cave, I think is where we need to go for this one. No, it doesn't appear to be open yet either. Dreadwolf, I know that guy. His name is Solus.
Can't keep this up.
See, I knew there were going to be spiders. I thought it was open though. Hey, totally worth it. Okay. .23 dexterity for that. Yay, different bow. I mean, that one's not bad, but... So here's the problem. Not that anybody's listening or cares, but the problem is I want to be able to open all the locks, which means I have to sacrifice putting stats elsewhere to put them into cunning so that I can get to those other lock boxes. Which is kind of fun. Kinda. I mean, it'll up my crit chance, but kind of cripple me when it comes to directly doing damage with equipment. I'm gonna end up going through all this shit for nothing, aren't I? So, good morning to our one viewer out there. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you stay. Stay, hang out, watch me fail at playing this game. Either way, I hope it's a good day for you. So I am not the super excitable kind of streamer, but it's because we have people sleeping. Never actually played as an archer before. Normally, I play the melee warrior classes, particularly two-hander. Pretty sure I did that in all the games, a two-handed warrior. But I thought I'd try something a little different this time, because I just got back to playing Dragon Age 2. Already finished it once as melee warrior class. It was pretty good, but I thought I'd try something different, so we went with Archer Rogue. We'll see how that works out. The one thing that I do absolutely hate is the extreme lack of romance options in this one. Right, like the rest of them, fucking fantastic, but for some reason, not so much in this one. Oh my god, just die, dude. Fuck. Oh. Nice. I don't know that I've killed him before. I don't know that I realized. Maybe I did. Oh, clearly I was up here. How many times will they pop up if I run into the door? Okay, just the once. you're pretty much looking at my prime team. It's going to be 2 mages, me and Aveline. Usually it's going to be Anders and Meryl. Because of course, spoiler alert, Bethany dies. But Anders gives that good healing, which becomes so desperately necessary later on. I have to walk all the way back down this fucking mountain. After coming all the way up for hardly any good reason. Cool. But hey, you know, maybe at some time we can... I'd like to pick up Origins and stream that again. It's been a long time. Excuse me, pardon me, being loud with my coffee. And then do Inquisition, and hopefully we'll get some news on Dragon Age 4 soon. That would be great. I know they're saying, you know, they had last year, the Dragon Age 4 trailer up, or a short teaser, the Varric one, and that was fantastic. But they didn't really have anything this year. They've had a smattering of comments and Twitter posts about with concept art and things, and that's cool. But I want more. Like, that's the whole thing. I want more than that. So, hopefully...
Don't get your small cloths in a twist, Harren.
Hopefully next year we'll get a lot more information. I believe they've said there will be more information next year. Plus, we've got a whole new... See, this is a lie. I already got that, apparently. A whole new Mass Effect as well coming. Which, how great is that? So you are one viewer. If you're into that sort of thing, drop a line. Let me know. We can play Dragon Age. We can play Mass Effect. I've got the Legendary Edition, you know. Like, we can do all of these things. And that is fine by me. Oh, everybody level up. Yeah. I think doesn't, because I'm going to have to do a mage playthrough at some point. I believe if you play as a mage, Bethany is also a mage, but she dies. And your brother Carver actually survives and comes with you to Kirkwall. I believe that's what happens. So, system bitch, what are you doing? And there's Meryl. Good job, Meryl. I'm saying everybody fucking get level. Really, I just want to be able to open the chests that are in the dark roads when we get down there. Shit, I probably should have done the ones on the outside first. Oh well. Here's the major advantage to being a rogue too. Traps. You can find and disarm traps. It's extra XP. Every little bit helps, as we know. I will say, I feel like sometimes I think this game was made for melee. Because there's way more melee armors, warrior specifically. Like, I feel like I see way more two-handed weapons and such. Shows up frozen. I will say that's one thing that is definitely going much better as a ranged rogue. I haven't really died. I don't think I've died yet. And that's pretty awesome. Not gonna lie. I think that would do better for her. Let's see, what are the belts? No, she's just gonna stick with the belt though. It's all just more gold for me, that's all it is. As frustrating as it is to not find shit you can use.
Take one more step and the boy dies.
What?
This is as close as I get.
Oh shit. That kid was like, fuck. Wow, that worked fucking super beautifully, actually. Damn. Ben, how you doing, buddy? Brutal, but awesome. I mean, I guess I could have tried to negotiate, but fuck that. That's why I like this game, yo. You get options for that kind of shit.
I mean, thank you, but what if you were wrong?
See, even this dude, he's like, the fuck was that?
You were too valuable for him to kill.
Is that my choice? Prisoner or slave? Who are you? Are you working for the Templars?
Because, yeah, this dude's like, thanks, but that freaked me out.
Hardly a difference. I can't believe her. My whole life it was all, I'll love you and protect you. Then I have some bad dreams and it's, Off to the Templars.
I'm here to help.
How you doing, Ben?
Why? You don't even know me.
I've spent my whole life protecting my
That's my sister
Exactly
right there.
what you feel.
Is there any chance you'd help me reach the Dalish? That's where I was trying to go. See if they'd take me in.
You're good?
I'm as
Good.
much
What's
Danish
new,
as you.
buddy? Give me some good news. You know me. You know me. You know I love the good news.
You'd be alone among the Dalish. Even
Give me
more
some
than a Dalish
good
would be.
news.
Compared to being held prisoner or made tranquil, I'll risk being lonely. Look, I know it's different in other kingdoms, but here, no one helps circle mages. Anything the Templars don't like, you get the brand. The Dalish, they've had magic forever. They could teach me. I won't.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we're in a decent time. People are mostly okay about that stuff.
Your magic.
But, yeah, no, I get that. I would hate to see spoilers, but at the same time...
Another way the circle would know it.
Oh, you know what? So if I send him to the circle, it's going to piss off Bethany and Meryl, but Aveline will be, like, cool with it. But you can't romance Aveline. Your sister dies, and I've already romanced Meryl, so... We'll go with that. But yeah, no, that's one I'm excited to see. I still haven't seen Ghostbusters. Money's been a little tight, just because Christmas holidays and the wedding coming up, but I need to get out and see that. I need to see that too, and then there's all sorts of good games coming out next year.
His mother deserves to know he's alive.
Yeah, see, Aveline hated that, Meryl enjoyed it. That's pretty much how that goes. Very true to life in a lot of ways. But yeah, I haven't seen it yet. I don't know, or I haven't. Is it just now? Yeah, it just got released. That's right. I'll hopefully see it eventually. Maybe this weekend. Got to talk to the fiance and see if she wants to go to the movies. Maybe. And just go to the movies and then go to get some drinks. Sounds like that sounds really awesome, actually. Maybe that's what we'll go see. Or Ghostbusters. I might push for Ghostbusters just because I haven't seen it yet. And I really want to see it. We go to the movies where we live? Yeah. Oh yeah. Don't get me wrong, we're in Kentucky, which is one of the more yeehaw kind of states when it comes to that. But her and I we're both vaccinated, and we've both had the booster. So we're fairly confident in our resistance to spreading at the very least. Theaters are open.
And
So.
the world's rid of one more canary. Easier than I
So yeah, we definitely can. Plus they do, I think they actually are requiring purchase in advance where you choose your seats and enforcing social distancing in that way.
You killed him. You Vashedan bitch.
Which I would want to do anyway. I'm cool with not having somebody right fucking next to me.
Home. You're playing too nice with those things. I'll wager you've gone even further than that. Haven't you, brat? Nice work, but I'll take it from here.
So yeah, we totally can.
Well, you're too late. The Winters, I, have already claimed him.
Then again, don't they have...
If I must go back, so be it.
I mean, I'm okay with doing the whole digital release as well, if it's reasonably priced.
Spoiled shit. I'll cut out your tongue and charge extra for bringing you back quiet. And as for you, I could do with some entertainment while we wait for the others.
But yeah, we totally can. I haven't been to the theaters in literally years.
Dead and good riddance, but she said
Like,
she
the
was
last
looking for
time
more.
I went to movie theaters, I went and saw
We're not giving you
Godzilla King of Monsters. So it's been a few years. It's been like 3 years. Is that Dune remake? Nice. I need to see that. I hear that was really good. It looked really, really good. I was excited about that one almost from the moment they announced it. That crazy scream.
I've never seen so many corpses. So much blood.
So much
We'll get
blood.
through this. Hold on a little longer.
But yeah, I do need to see that. And I know that's one of the ones that's on HBO as well. So like you've got The Matrix coming up. God, I'd love to see that too. And if you have HBO Max, it's showing at the same time, and then I could see both of them. So it's one of those where I almost want to get like a month subscription. How was it though? How did you feel about that movie? Because it looked good, and I wanted to see it. And I love the original Dune movie, although I haven't read the books.
Take me to my father, and I will try again to make him see.
We'll leave soon enough, Seamus.
I am at.
I got so much looting. I still think that dude was fucking the Canary. Wow, I didn't really even get anything good off of that. Son of a bitch.
I am ready to leave, and you have coin to collect, I'm sure.
Didn't know anything about Dune before you watched it, but I liked it. That's the better judge of things, to be honest. If you're not familiar with a thing and you liked it, that means it was good enough to reach a general public. It wasn't just for fans of the thing, right? For instance, I love Lord of the Rings. I've read the books, I've read The Hobbit, I've looked into the extra lore, like that's kind of my thing. I love those movies, and my fiance hadn't really seen them. Well, I watched them, and she was kind of doing her thing, but in the background she was listening and paying attention, and it caught her. And she was like, oh, this is actually really good, really interesting, really beautifully shot. And that's way more powerful than I grew up loving this, you know? Because her thing is Harry Potter. That's her thing. And I wasn't really, I'd read like the first 2 books and realized they were basically the same book. So I stopped. I think I maybe had seen the first movie and was like, okay, that was good, but whatever. But because I love her and I wanted to experience her fandoms, I got a bit more into it. And now it is my thing. It was not, clearly not. I'm clearly not as into it as she is, but I'm more into it than what I thought I would be. Because I took the time to explore it. Her and Star Trek. She's still not a huge Star Trek fan, but she pays attention to it sometimes, and she's like, oh, this is good. She likes Discovery, the new one. And it's all because she kind of listens in the background. One day she'll be a fan. One day. I just know it.
Must be terribly busy.
But yeah, it's definitely a thing to be able to draw people in who aren't already familiar with things. So that speaks volumes. I had a friend who was in a band and made music, and his big thing was, how does a child like my song? You know, because kids don't give a fuck. So if a kid likes his song, he's all about it, because that tells him it was a good song. Why they cut Saruman from the theatrical version of Lord of the Rings 3? Well, they had to condense that story, so... And to be honest, it's been so long since I've read those books. I don't know what he would do in it. Except die. It's been a really long time. There's so much I need to go back and watch. I really do. I need to get like the extended cuts and watch all the extra scenes and do all that shit. I really fucking do. And then you've got, like, there are some scenes they probably could have and should have kept in, like the mouth of Saruman, you know. That dude, that was a cool concept, if nothing else, you know. They could have left that in, but they didn't. He died a lot later, but he was still a big character that just leaves in that version. Yeah, okay. Excuse me. I'd say it's because Peter Jackson had a very, very clear vision of what he wanted for that, you know. So the first movie is definitely... Oh, there's a critical chance. I should probably buy these. Yeah, they're cheap. Sorry. He had a very clear vision, Peter Jackson did, of who's doing what in that. You know, what each movie should be. The first movie was just the Fellowship. That's why it was Fellowship of the Ring, right? Like, he didn't quite follow things exactly, but each one is a different act of that story, and he very clearly thought about what he wanted in each act, you know? If that makes sense. I feel like I'm talking out my ass. Did I just buy these and didn't need to? I already had those equipped. What the fuck? I did. Oh well, I guess it's a good thing to buy them. That was stupid. Anyway, I do need to go back and read those though. I already have, because we're going to try to have a child at some point. I already have a copy of The Hobbit. It's this, like, an illustrated version of The Hobbit for that unborn child. So we'll be reading that on nights and stuff. It's gonna be great. Can't wait for that shit. One day we'll be back to that. But yeah, I really need to go back and read those, because it's been so long. I don't even own copies of them, which is awful of me, but it's one of those. I used to read that series once a year, Once a year. And this was way back in the 90s and, well, hell, 80s almost. Well, partially the 80s. That would have been when I first read The Hobbit. And I would go to my school library and I would check these books out once a year. Once a year. Of course, they're so long, and I was a kid, so I was out doing other stuff. I probably had them on a rotation constantly. These guys aren't important.
I killed.
What if there's small... What can we do? That bastard Hubert is the only...
Would you?
What?
But I haven't done that in a long, long time. I really should. Because yeah, I would read The Hobbit and then all 3 Lords of the Rings books. Yeah, it was pretty fantastic.
Greetings. You kept my brother out far too late last night. He's an adult now, isn't he? But I promise I'll be more careful.
It was a little funny, they cut a lot of Hobbit references from the first movie not have plot holes if they changed stuff in the Hobbit movies. And then change everything that goes to... Yeah. Yeah, in the Hobbit movies, those... Oh, yeah. They... Oh, no, it definitely felt forced. All of the connections they were making to The Lord of the Rings, that felt super forced, for sure. So I am right there with you on that one. Most people I know didn't really care for that they did that. And The Hobbit is it probably shouldn't have been 3 movies. We all know this now. I mean, I kind of get why they were doing it, I guess, but it really shouldn't have been. My favorite versions, I like to go back and watch. I have on DVD. My wonderful, amazing fiance bought me the Rankin and Bass animated version of The Hobbit from like the 70s. I don't know if you've seen that, but dude, if you're into all that stuff, you gotta see that. It's probably the better version of The Hobbit, to be fair. Like, I like the movies, don't get me wrong, but... And yeah, she got me that for Christmas last year, I want to say. And it's perfect. It is perfect, and I love it. And I need to get a new copy, because I think I had one on VHS, but I do not have a DVD or Blu-ray copy of the old Ralph Bakshi Lord of the Rings animated film. That's fantastic as well. It's not great, not gonna lie. I think it only goes up to the ending of the battle at Helm's Deep, I believe. So but then you can get this is such a stupid way to... So Rankin and Bass has their version of The Hobbit, and then you have the Ralph Bakshi Lord of the Rings, which goes up to just about Helm's Deep. I think at the end of Helm's Deep is where that ends. I believe it's been a while since I've seen it. And then you can watch Rankin and Bass did a Return of the King animated movie. So you can kind of watch them in that order from like 2 different companies, and it works. You still kind of get that full story. I think there's a bit of a gap, but I saw the new Fantastic Beasts trailer. Actually, it looks good. I'm not gonna lie, like I said, I'm not a huge Harry Potter person, but I will watch it. I liked Fantastic Beasts. I did. And maybe that has something to do with the fact I'm not a Harry Potter person. I don't know. I just enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. Oh, dude, they are. You can find... I think you can find The Hobbit on YouTube, but it's broken up into a bunch of different, smaller videos because it's, illegal. But I think you can actually find it on YouTube split up in that way and watch the whole thing. It's fantastic. I don't know about the Bakshi Lord of the Rings. It's weird anyway. I don't know if you've ever heard of Ralph Bakshi. He was an animator in like the 60s and 70s. He animated and created Fritz the Cat, if you've ever seen that. It's like, think of it as, for lack of a better description, rebel animation. These were underground animations. It wasn't Disney. This was adult stuff. His animation style can be a bit off-putting because it's a lot of rotoscoped stuff, especially in Lord of the Rings. They rotoscoped most of it, so it gives it a realistic, fluid motion, but because it's animation, it's a little off-putting, because it's like, well, what the fuck? So the animation is weird, but it's so worth watching. His representation of the Balrog is not great. And the best thing about the Rankin and Bass animated Hobbit is the songs.
Here, he is but a man who sweats like any other when death comes for him.
Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna find probably my favorite song. This is actually from the Return of the King animated movie.
Where there's a whip, there's a way. Where there's a whip,
and this is the orcs marching out of Mordor. It's so crazy, but I love it. Like, this gets stuck in my head. And I think that song is actually in the Hobbit book, because I know they did the songs from the books. Plus, just dude, you gotta look it up.
We don't wanna go to war today, but the Lord of the Lashes says, nay, nay, nay. We're gonna march all day, all day, all day. Where there's a whip, there's a way. Left, right, 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 left.
Yeah, and that's where Sam and Frodo sneak in with the orcs to try to get into Mordor.
He may have prepared some magical defenses.
They will not keep me from him.
So yeah, I mean, it's a little hokey, but I love it. Not gonna lie. I don't know if I'm excited. I don't know. So here's my problem with it. This is something I believe Elijah Wood has said, even, where he's like, it's not a Lord of the Rings show. It's a Tolkien-based show, right? Because they... Where's this? Ah, there. Because It's not set during the Lord of the Rings period. It's not set during the Third Age. It's going to be in the Second Age. And they're going to tell some of the stories from the older, like, because I think some of them are going to be from, like, the Silmarillion, because I think some of them were in there, and then there's another book Tolkien wrote that was other tales of Middle-earth. So it's going to be that sort of thing, which is fine. That's great. I'm so okay with that. But it's not Lord of the Rings. It has probably going to have nothing to do with Lord of the Rings, right? If it does, it's going to be very little. So excited, but not. Like, I don't know how to feel about it at this point, if that makes sense. There hasn't been enough released on it. And they did say there was a report. They were like, oh, Gandalf's gonna be in this, right? Like Gandalf, because Gandalf is super old, he could potentially have a role in this show. And Ian McKellen, or not Ian McKellen, yes, Ian McKellen was like, nobody asked me to do that. So I'm like, you're seriously gonna have Gandalf in here, but you're not gonna get the guy that played Gandalf and has been Gandalf for 20 plus years? Not cool, at the very least. Not cool. There's a Game of Thrones spin-off that is completely different from Game of Thrones. I saw that they were going to be. I'm not huge into Game of Thrones though, so I don't know much about Game of Thrones except that Joffrey's a prick and everybody that you love dies and everybody that you hate persists. And Meryl fucking died. It's called Wheel of Time. I thought Wheel of Time was its own thing and is not Game of Thrones. Or, I don't know if you're making a joke, but could have swore Wheel of Time was its own thing. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that's not actually a spin-off, although I could be wrong. I'm looking forward to, which I need to get the fiance to watch this. She hasn't watched The Witcher at all. I definitely enjoy The Witcher. That was a good show. The first season was. Hopefully the second season is just as good.
That should do it.
Yeah, again, I was fairly certain that it was not a spin-off. I could be wrong. I don't know. I feel like the Wheel of Time has been around for a long time. No, that's a completely different... The Wheel of Time is a series of high fantasy novels by American author Robert Jordan and Brandon Sanderson as co-writer for the final 3 novels. So, no, completely different authors and everything. It is not a spin-off. Probably just has a similar look and feel to it, so that's probably the joke people are going for. I believe the Wheel of Time is a little more high magic, right? So, excuse me, there is magic in Game of Thrones, but it's considered low magic, right? Like it's not people casting fireballs constantly, you know, shit like that. So yeah, I think that was just like the joke. It may be by like the same people writing the show. I suppose that's very possible. Same writers, possibly the same showrunner, stuff like that. A lot of the same crew and directors, which could make it seem that way. But I think they're just looking for another. It was another very long book series. Difference is, this one's actually finished. Take that, George R.R. Martin. Yeah, because I remember The Wheel of Time being, those were books people were reading when I was in like middle school and stuff, so they've been around for a while. Yeah, I think there's a good chance that's just like the joke about the show, because it's another big fantasy series. And I ain't getting good shit here at all. But yeah, it's one, I don't have Amazon Prime, but I'd probably watch it. I'd check it out. I mean, I tried Game of Thrones, I didn't like it. Yeah, we'll probably check it out. I'm down for most fantasy-themed series and movies and stuff. It'll never be like the 80s again, and I get that, but... 'cause the 80s, oh man, the 80s have some of the best. Because they just didn't like, didn't give a fuck. Super traumatic shit too, like Never-Ending Story, Legend. Legend was awesome, love that. All of the Jim Henson Studio stuff, like Dark Crystal, Labyrinth, We will never, ever get an era like that again. They took a lot of risks. Did some crazy shit. And it was something that made childhood awesome.
It never ends. I escaped a land of dark magic, only to have it hunt me at every turn. It is a plague burned into my flesh and my soul.
Fenris, he should be back in the next game.
You can speak to
It'd be weird if he wasn't. I bet he will be.
I saw you casting spells inside. I should have realized sooner what you harbor a viper in your midst. It will turn on.
My sister is strong.
You tell him, sis. Some of us may surprise.
I'm not blind. I know magic has its uses, but
No.
I imagine I appear ungrateful. Should you find yourself in need of assistance, I would gladly render it.
I'm
Yeah. Welcome to the party. Welcome to the party, pal. Fenris is still not happy with anything I help, but I kinda fucking hate it. Alright, let's see. Okay, there we go. Anyway, I would say definitely check out the Wheel of Time series when it does come out. I know a lot of people who have liked that series for many, many years. I've never read any of them, but it should be good stuff, man. It's like old fantasy shit from like the 80s and stuff, so it's gotta be good, right? Because like all of that was good, man. All of it. Oh God, it was such a fun time to be a kid for that sort of thing. The only thing I regret about the 80s for me personally is I didn't really get to play Dungeons and Dragons. I did not. Oddly enough, I was not one of those kids. I didn't have friends that wanted to play it. And now I'd love to play, but I can't find a group to get together. But we did find my dad's old Dungeons and Dragons starter set, the old red box with the red dragon on the front. I remember that thing. And we found it, and we tried to figure it out. And those two blue wizards finally come up. I mean, maybe. Probably. It's like, wasn't it, by the time Lord of the Rings came around, those two had already moved on, like, to the west with the elves or something, right? That's why they weren't involved, I believe. Again, that used to be my thing. I used to know so much more about it. Maybe that's what I'm doing wrong. This channel should be a Lord of the Rings lore channel. Yeah? Is that a thing? Should I do that? I don't think I'm knowledgeable enough. Oh, but hey, it sounds like you are pretty into it. There is a channel for, there's a guy. He is an official Lord of the Rings, or I guess they call him a Tolkien scholar, who is like the most knowledgeable guy on Tolkien ever. And he has a YouTube channel where he talks about and discusses Lord of the Rings and Tolkien's life and stuff. You may benefit from that. I don't remember what it was called, but I think he's just called the Tolkien Scholar. Let's see. He's on YouTube. Hold on. I'm gonna try to find him here. Excuse me. Where is he? There's a dude with the Tolkien professor, Signum University. I don't see his name, but 10-minute talk was part of Christmas in the Shire and the evening of music and storytelling hosted. How cool is that? Oh my god. Okay, sorry. You hit upon my nerdy, super duper nerdy shit. Dominic Monaghan, Billy Boyd, and Peter Jackson try to stump Steven with LOTR trivia. That's fun. Sorry, rabbit hole. Playing now. My bad. Anywho, you can find all sorts of like college level what's the word? Classes, talks, speeches on Tolkien and the world of Tolkien. There was a recording I found online. It was Tolkien talking about his books. It was before he died. This was like the late 60s, early 70s, and he's talking about his books and stuff. And that was fascinating as fuck. I highly recommend finding that kind of stuff. It's good background noise when you're doing homework or dishes or something. Just find a good thing like that and listen to it. It's great. Also, hello to our other viewer now. Sorry, we're talking Tolkien. Talking Tolkien. I love that a lot. Yeah, there was some really cool stuff, and of course he's dead. Why would he have not died? I was not paying attention, I was too busy talking Tolkien. But yeah, the two blue wizards should come up in that, because again, it is the second age, I believe, is when that's set, so they should be around. And
I thought the Tranquil were cut off from the Fade forever.
Yeah, we can maybe get some good lore into those things as well.
It's like the Fade itself is inside Anders, burning like a sun.
So yeah, hopefully they'll just tell other stories, as long as they don't, because this is the problem that we had with The Hobbit partially, right? Where they tried too hard to force those Lord of the Rings connections, and it just kind of sucked. As long as they don't do that, I think it'll be fine. Just tell us other stories. Look at fuck, The Mandalorian, right? For the most part, it's not connected. It's a completely different story in the Star Wars universe, and that's why it works. Because it's not just telling us more stuff about that, right? So, that's one of the reasons why it was great. And yes, I know Luke shows up. There's other stuff going on there. I get that. But it's still not about that. It's about other people in the universe with a, a distant connection.
That wasn't normal.
They can do the same thing with Lord of the Rings. They can do the same thing with Harry Potter. That's what we want them to do. Because if I wanted to hear the story of Lord of the Rings, I'd watch Lord of the Rings.
And he recognized the injustice that mages and Thadas face every day.
Which, by the way, the Library of Congress in the United States just determined that the Lord of the Rings movie was a culturally significant film. So what that means is they'll preserve a copy of it for as long as they can, for all time, essentially. It shall be preserved for future generations. So that's cool.
Once he was inside me, he changed.
That really didn't look like a happy, benevolent spirit.
Since
You tried...
Of course. No harm ever comes from good intentions, even when magic is involved.
Normally, I would argue that. I wanted to do well by justice, I really did. But my anger, when I see Templars now, things that have always outraged me, but I could never do anything about, he comes out. And he is no longer my friend Justice. He is a force of vengeance, and he has no grasp of mercy.
We's gonna
explains your
flirt.
whole sexy, tortured look.
Perhaps I should check a looking glass more often. I had not thought to ever find a woman who would look past what I just said. My maps are yours.
Wait, is Anders
As am I,
by?
if you wish me to join your expedition.
Hmm.
I thought I was done with the Grey Warden.
That's surprising. Alright, so we're gonna be getting rid of Bethany and adding Anders. Because Anders heals. Anyway, yeah, no, that's how I feel about things. If they can just make it in that universe, but not about the Lord of the Rings stuff, that's great. Just let's not make it about Sauron. How about that? Let's do something else, you know. There's plenty of other stories that can be told, and could be told, and should be told, set in that universe. Let's tell those fucking stories. Because again, that sounds way more exciting to me than a Lord of the Rings remake. Like, you know, and that's the other thing we're going to have to come to terms with, right? We're hitting that point where we're going to start probably seeing some bad remakes or attempts to remake or series, you know, because look at Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings, both are 20 this year, right? Like they both turned 20 years. So yeah, that's going to be a thing that we're going to have to deal with, and I don't like it. I hate everything about that, in fact.
What am I, your servant? There's a letter for you on the desk.
So yeah, that's definitely going to be, it's going to be a thing we're going to have to deal with soon enough. You know what, I always bring Meryl, but she's like super strong, that's why I like bringing her. Fuck it. Let's do this. I don't know who I'm going to be romancing at this point. I mean, that's what I would do, right? That's what I would do. I would try to find the best writers I could. And create new stories. I mean, there's got to be some fan fiction or something out there. I know the Tolkien estate probably pretty closely guards that property. So there's not a lot of like extended universe stuff, you know, like there is with Star Wars.
I'll deal with this.
And why wouldn't there be? I know his son has, I believe, written a few things. But again, it's his son. It's official stuff, right?
Carl was a good mage, a good man. It goes against all Chantry law to make him tranquil.
God, wouldn't that be great to be involved in something like that? Oh my God, that'd be awesome. Sauron will probably become the villain after a while so they can show him making and handing out the rings, then take over the world. Yeah, I mean, okay, so that's fine. Like, I'm totally okay with that, as long as it fits, right? As long as it fits, it's not shoehorned in. Give me a season of character development. Give me Isildur, you know, give me Isildur and fucking Elrond, and you know, give me that stuff. And then you're absolutely right, though. That could be that moment of, well, here's where this is going, but don't force it. Don't make it about that. I don't want to see an entire series about that, you know. Because would that have been? Yeah, that would have been the Second Age of Man, because I believe the Third Age did start after the original war for the ring ended, I believe. Yeah, that would have started or been around the time of the start of the Third Age, so... Yeah, no, that would actually fit the timeline pretty perfectly. And I'm okay with that. That would be great, actually. That could be a good way to make it associated without forcing it, without making it feel awful. Because that's the big thing. It's got to feel good. It's got to feel like it fits. It has to feel like it's not shoehorned in just for the sake of recognition. So no, you're right. They could do that. They really could do that. Because then you can bring in Galadriel, you can bring in a lot of the familiar characters, but it makes way more sense than it did in The Hobbit.
Mistress, I thought perhaps you would be willing to show mages. I was hoping you might speak to the group. Convince them to surrender peacefully.
So no, you're right, they could, even if they ended when they knew that the series was coming to a close, even if they just ended with the forging of the One Ring, like, that'd be kind of cool. Like, are you guys even gonna come over and help me? Shit. Ah, oh, son of a bitch, really? Fucking, wow, that went horribly. This is not going well at all. I was gonna say, mind blast. Yeah. Oof, that was awful. I am not gonna keep that. That was awful. It's the problem with having all melee. I was too close as an archer. That was the problem there. I should not have died. But also, my group didn't get into attack very quickly. Alright, Ben, I gotta go, because I gotta get ready for my work day. But it's been awesome seeing you, dude. It's been great talking Lord of the Rings and shit. Yeah, like I knew that. I knew that because, you know, the men turned into Nazgul. Do they really ever explain what happened to the dwarven rings, though? Because the dwarves had rings too. Yeah, because Gandalf got one of the ones. Yeah, that was given to the elves. So, dude, here's what we'll do. I will find a Lord of the Rings game. Okay, we will find a Lord of the Rings game for me to play. And I will play that Lord of the Rings game. And we will talk Lord of the Rings. Probably not Lord of the Rings Online, though. Not gonna lie. Well, they do have the Gollum game is going to be out. I have Lego Lord of the Rings. And Lord of the Rings Online, probably not that, though. Journeys in Middle Earth, I believe it's a card battle game or some sort. Yeah, the dwarves, yeah, they do. They just kind of go away, except for the ones that were not in the mines. But let's see, I do have Shadow of Mordor. There are not a lot of Lord of the Rings games. Which makes sense. I was going to say, I do have the one. War in the North, which is a fun one, actually. I've played that before on stream. That should totally be in my library. I've played it. Oh, that's bothering me. Yeah, War in the North. It's right there. Is there no longer available on the store or something? No, it is. I just couldn't find it. Anyway, that's a fun one. I actually do pretty greatly enjoy that one. Oh, they should remake that or make something else like it. That'd be great with some multiplayer and stuff. Anyway, shit, Anyway, I gotta go. Sorry to the newcomer. I'm just now leaving. I gotta get ready for my work day, but I'm gonna try to stream more. So keep an eye out, and we'll see you then. Of course, as always, thanks for hanging out. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and until next time, be kind to yourself and each other. And as always, stay nerdy. So long.